What's up, guys? So the Oscars are coming real soon, tomorrow I believe, Sunday night, and so this is my predictions video. Instead of doing what most people do and just saying, okay, I think this person's gonna win, I think this person's gonna win, I'm gonna do a ranking system in which I rank the likelihood of these people winning. So every category there'll be 5, with the exception of Best Picture there'll be 9, and yeah, it'll be like a top 5, top 9. I'm only going to be doing the 6 main categories, so Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Picture. So without further ado, let's get into my predictions for 2017's Academy Awards. So first off, we're going to start with Best Supporting Actor, which is by far the most unpredictable choice. It's like the wild card every year. It's always the one where, with the biggest shock, which the one that people can never predict. This year I feel like it's a bit easier, but I'm going to start at number 5 anyway, which is Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. Now the reason I put Michael Shannon so far down is because even though he has an extremely established career and he's a highly respected actor, he didn't have a huge amount to do in the film, because compared to other actors on this list, he had significantly less amount of screen time. I mean, Michael Shannon winning would be really interesting just to see what his speech would be like, because he'll probably be like, okay, let's get this out of the way. There's going to be a ton of Trump speeches at the Oscars, but Michael Shannon's would have been like, really funny and really weird. But yeah, anyway, that's Michael Shannon at number 5. Number 4 is Lucas Hedges for Manchester by the Sea. Now, the reason I put him so low, because even though he gave such a brilliant performance in the film, and he was arguably the second lead to Casey Affleck, he is a younger actor who doesn't have as much of an established career compared to the other actors, and the Academy likes to sort of award people who have been around for a much longer time. Although I have to say, they really did nominate Lucas Hedges for a reason. There has to be a reason behind it. So I do think that, though I wouldn't say that there's a high chance of him winning. He gave such a great performance in Manchester by the Sea, but I just feel like... But this video really isn't about me saying ranking these performances or these films in how much I personally like them. I'm ranking them to sort of how the Academy would think. I'm trying to get into the mind of the Academy and essentially trying to see how they would do it, because that's what's going to happen. So Lucas Hedges is at number 4. Number 3 is Jeff Bridges for Hell or High Water. Now, Jeff Bridges is arguably the biggest, most famous, and most respected actor out of all of these guys, because he has already won an Oscar. He's in the club. Everyone loves him. He's like one of those Oscar actors where he's invited every year and everyone just sucks him off. So Jeff Bridges definitely has that sense of respect, and I can see a lot of people voting for him. But this performance in Hell or High Water, it was great, but it wasn't like a standout. It was just Jeff Bridges being Jeff Bridges. And I feel like this year especially, in any other year it could have been Jeff Bridges easily, but this year especially, because with the Oscar so white controversy and all the rest of it, the Academy are definitely trying to award people that are more diverse. They're trying to award people who are different, and just especially with the current state of the world, I feel like the Academy are going to go with someone a lot more diverse and a lot less just typical, right? So number 2 is Dev Patel for Lion. At first, no one was really talking about this film. His performance was brilliant, and I think this was really boosted when he won the BAFTA, which is a huge deal. And so I do think that the BAFTA win definitely heightened up his chances at winning the Oscars. He's already been nominated for like Slumdog Millionaire, and he's already, again, an established actor, so I do feel the Academy could award him. But I do feel, at the end of the day, number 1, and the person who will ultimately win Best Supporting Actor, is Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. Not only would the Academy be acknowledging and awarding his work for Moonlight, this is a guy with an absolutely long, successful career. They would be awarding him for his performance in Hidden Figures also this year, also being the best part of Luke Cage, and his years of service on House of Cards. This is a guy who has so talented and really does deserve the recognition that he is currently getting. it's definitely going to go to Mahershala Ali. He gave such a brilliant performance in Moonlight. Although he isn't in the movie as much as actors like Lucas Hedges, Jeff Bridges and Dev Patel, he does give a brilliant performance, and it is such an intriguing character. And like I said, with the way the world is going, with the way the Oscars are going, it's definitely 100% going to go to Mahershala Ali. Next up is Best Supporting Actress. At number 5, I've put Octavia Spencer for Hidden Figures. This is probably like the least talked about performance. Hidden Figures was a really big movie and it's doing really well at the box office and all, but she was good in the film. She already has an Oscar, and so I feel like that's going to take away from the sort of the surprise factor, and this is really going to take away from the awarding new people factor that the Academy are trying to do this year. So yeah, that's her at number 5. Number 4 is Nicole Kidman for Lion. Again, a performance that not many people are actually talking about. She was brilliant in the film, just like all the rest of the nominees, but again, she already has an Oscar, I think. Although she was great, there hasn't been much buzz around her compared to the other actresses in this category. So yeah, that's Nicole Kidman at number 4. Number 3 would be Naomi Harris for Moonlight. She gave an extremely heartbreaking performance in this film. She was so good, and yeah, again, like Mahershala Ali, she's had a very big career so far, you know, with the Bond films and all the rest of it, so I do feel like she definitely has more of a chance to win this year. Number 2 is Michelle Williams for Manchester by the Sea. Her role is definitely of a supporting nature, and you know, it definitely fits this category, unlike my number 1 choice, which I think is, you can guess. Michelle Williams was very good in this film. She had that one scene, you know, talk about this one scene that just sort of made the movie. She was so good in that scene. And again, like a lot of the actors in this category, she gave an incredibly heartbreaking performance. This is by far the best performance I've ever seen from her, and she really does deserve the Oscar. I think in any other year, any of these actors could have won, but this was such a good year, both acting and films in general. Number 1 is Viola Davis for Fences. This is such a mind-blowing performance. About, again, that one scene, you know exactly what I'm talking about, like, you know, when she's crying with all the snot on her face and that. Oh my god, that was so good. That was just so good. And Viola Davis, she's won like everything leading up to this. Like, none of the other actresses have won anything. It's just been Viola Davis just like cleaning out all the awards. And leading up to the Oscars, of course she's going to win. This is another 100% lock. This is more likely to win than Mahershala Ali for Best Supporting Actor. This is definitely going to happen. So, you know, definitely 100% again, Viola Davis for Fences. Moving on to Best Actress. This was an easy one, but I'm still going to rank them. Number 5, Meryl Streep. She doesn't have a huge chance of winning. She already has like 100,000 Oscars. She's already been nominated like 100,000 times. She's not going to win. They only nominate her because of the amount of respect they have for her, just to suck her off and stuff. So yeah, Meryl Streep at number 5. Number 4 would be Ruth Negga for Loving. This is one of the like performances that hasn't been talked about that much. Although I haven't seen Loving, I'm sure she was good because she got nominated. But yeah, she's at number 4. So number 3 is Natalie Portman for Jackie. Now, pretty much leading up to the Oscars, leading up to the release of La La Land, she was the favourite to win. Everyone said that this was Portman's for the win, she was going to win, and look, she's number 3 because, again, nobody's talking about her. She hasn't won any of the awards leading up to this. She hasn't won a SAG, she hasn't won a BAFTA, she hasn't won, what else is there to win? A Golden Globe. So I do think that, I haven't seen Jackie, but from what I hear, she gave a very good performance. But I do feel that my number 2 and my number 1 are in a league of their own, and they are far stronger than Natalie Portman in this award season. Number 2 would be Isabelle Huppert for Elle. Now, again, going with this sort of rewarding more diverse people and sort of going for more of a surprise, more of a change, the Academy could very much give it to Isabelle Huppert because it's a French film by a Danish director. And, you know, if you're going with that diversity stuff, you can definitely give her the award because this is like the first performance in like a foreign language that's been nominated for like a mainstream award or something like that. And she did win Best Actress in a Drama at the Golden Globes, and I'm sure she was very good in the film. I haven't seen it. I've only seen La La Land, but in this category. But so yeah, I do think that she definitely has a chance, and she's the only person who even comes close to beating my number 1 choice, which is the Rolling Stone, Emma Stone. She's won everything, Golden Globe, SAG, BAFTA. There's no way that this award isn't going to go to her. Again, I say that Isabelle Huppert could get it. But again, I do feel that ultimately this award will go to Emma Stone. She gave such a brilliant performance. It was just so good. And she did give, in my opinion, the best performance of the year from a female actress. Amy Adams second. But yeah, I would say that Emma Stone is a lock. I wouldn't say 100%. I do feel that there is no stopping Emma Stone at the moment. Stone is just rolling along. So yeah, Emma Stone for Best Actress. Best Actor. Now this is probably the hardest category to decide, so I'm going to start with number 5, which is Andrew Garfield. Now this may come as a shock to most of you guys, but again, nobody is talking a lot about Andrew Garfield's performance in Hacksaw Ridge, although I did think it was insane. He is the youngest of all these actors, and he has like the least established career. Going with that Jeff Bridges thing I said earlier, they tend to award people who have been in Hollywood for a while longer, and Andrew Garfield's win would definitely be sort of like a shock, a surprise. But so yeah, which is why Viggo Mortensen is my number 4 choice, simply because he's been around for a much longer amount of time. He's an established actor with an established career. He was in Lord of the Rings and all that, and he's taken a bit of a break. You know, we haven't seen much of him in films for the last, what, like 8-9 years, and he's back with Captain Fantastic, which I think is the best performance of his since Return of the King. And I really loved him in this film, just as much as Andrew Garfield, although I do think, for the simple fact that he's been around longer and he has more mates in the Academy, they're going to vote for him more than they would vote for Andrew Garfield. So again, I'm not judging this by how much I like their performance, I'm being realistic. And so at number 3 is my man Ryan Gosling. For quite a while, I think a lot of people thought that he might have won, because he did win what was it? He won Best Actor in a Comedy Musical at the Golden Globes, which is a big win against Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck won Best Actor in a Drama, and then, you know, he's a pretty well-known actor. He's been nominated once before, and I just feel like Ryan Gosling, out of all these actors, is having the best time right now. You know, being in Blade Runner and The Nice Guys last year as well. He gave such a great performance in that film, as well as La La Land. But the reason I put him at number 3 is because at first I was going to put him at number 2, but then things happened, which I will explain in a bit. And so now Ryan Gosling would be at number 3. This is someone that I deeply respect, and he's one of my favourite actors. So putting him at number 3 is a bit painful, but I have to be realistic. So number 2 is Casey Affleck. For the longest time, ever since like Manchester by the Sea came out at like Sundance or something, or whatever film festival it came out in, my chair, and everyone has been saying like it's 100% going to be Casey Affleck. He's definitely going to win, 100% locked down. It's not going to go to no one else, until a couple of things happen, which I'll explain now. So Casey Affleck, there was like some scandal that he like assaulted someone or something, and then which came out about a month ago, which didn't do great for which wasn't great for his image. He did win a Golden Globe, as I said, and he did win the BAFTA. But the main thing that you have to look at is the SAG Awards, because the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild, has a large amount of the people who vote for that are also the people who vote for the Academy. And as you know, the SAG went to Denzel Washington, which is my number 1 choice. And just, you know, Casey Affleck, I feel like if he won, his acceptance speech would be the most boring thing ever. He just going up there and be like, "Thank you. I'd like to thank Matt Damon and Martin Scorsese and The Departed, the city of Boston, clam chowder, the state of New England and the city of Boston." I said that already. Wow, this is so good. Thank the Academy. So yeah, it will be like this really boring speech that he's just going to be like Casey Affleck. And I would very much, although he gave the best performance from a male actor of the year in Manchester by the Sea, I do feel that most likely the award would go to Denzel Washington, who is my number 1 choice. Denzel Washington's performance was great in that film. He also directed the film, so that could be like, you know, Oscar for Best Actor, but it could also, you know, for Best Director, if you know what I mean. And this is a guy who already has 2 Oscars. He's got mates all over the Academy. They're all going to vote for him because they love him. And again, he won the SAG, which is like, for the last 12 years, the winner of the SAG has been the winner of the Oscars, and when it comes to Best Actor, so I do feel that Denzel will win.